Boot Dusseldorf. It's massive and it kicks off the Northern Hemisphere season. 17 halls of everything from scuba diving to super yachts. If you're up for spending some money or simply just want to know what's going on in the scene, it's an absolute must. For starters, it's where the European Yacht of the Year awards are announced, the Oscars of the boating world. And that's where we'll start. The Arcona 50 won the Luxury Cruiser Award. Designed by Niels Jeppesen, the co-founder of X-Yachts, and his design partner Ariana Pons, we've been following the development of this 50-foot performance cruiser. To some, this 50-footer will look like a natural successor to the X-Yachts that Jeppesen is well known for. Whether that's a criticism or praise, I'm not sure. But given that X-Yachts had entered their XC47 in the same category, along with the Contest 50 CS and the Jeanneau 55 that we covered in last year's show report, it was clear that the competition was tough. But according to the judges, the reason that this boat won the award was that she ticked all the right boxes for a blue water cruiser and was difficult to fault. And perhaps winning was no accident. This is the third time that the Swedish yard has won a European Yacht of the Year award. Frederick, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You must be pretty pleased.
I am. I mean, we were nervous until the end, and then when we received the award, just happiness. And I'm so grateful for the team who's been working really hard to get to this point.
Now, I mean, there are so many things that we could talk about, but really, I guess in essence, what are you most proud about? What do you like most about this boat? What's the key to this boat?
I mean, I think it's both the lovely sailing. She's a true performer in the sense that she's a mile eater, and at the same time with a lot of space and the luxury interior with the bookshelves and everything. You really feel that there are so many details that are lifting this boat to the level of the high quality that we're now delivering with the 50. So she's a really good package, I should say.
Just for those that haven't followed the story so far and are saying, okay, great, but what is the boat? So give us an overview about what this boat is about.
Yeah, I mean, what's special about this boat is that it's the first by Jeppesen and Pons for Arcona. So we really wanted to position this boat in more of we call it luxury performance, which is basically a more luxury boat than our previous. And she's much bigger, she's a bit more comfortable than the more racy Arcona range. And we think this new one with the luxury interior together with the big space that we have in the cockpit with the joyful sailing is a really nice combination. So she's more of call it a med cruiser than we've done in the past, and we really believe she fits perfectly in the Mediterranean, as well in Scandinavian or UK water as well.
It's a very competitive part of the market now though, isn't it? We're seeing a lot of 50-footers, 50, 55-footers. Yeah. Around there. I mean, how much was that on your mind when you were developing the boat?
I mean, you can see it in two ways. Yes, it's a competitive market, but that also means that there are plenty of customers around it, because it is a good size. If you walk through her, you really feel it's two big cabins, it's a lovely master cabin in the bow, big saloon, and the cockpit, it's lovely for, having dinners and everything, but also the sailing. So it's really a good size of boat. And so I think it's two things there, which is then, yes, it's crowded, but there are a lot of customers. But with that said, I think it's about the details. So it's really about what's the difference between this boat. It's in the details. With the clutter-free deck, you see when you put up the spray hood, we don't have anything to attach it that you see it. So this boat, it's really about the details.
Well done once again for winning, and well, good luck with the queues of people that are trying to get on board.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers. In the Best Family Cruiser category, the Bavaria C46 took the trophy. On the face of it, the 46 is a modern-looking cruiser with details that have become familiar for this style of boat. From modern hull lines and the obligatory chine to a large spacious cockpit with twin wheels, along with a clean and spacious interior. The bottom line is that there are plenty of other manufacturers that make similar offerings. But season by season, Bavaria have been upping their game to a point where the C46 is the full package at a very competitive price. The multi-hull world has been growing at an incredible rate in recent years. Interestingly, last year there were loads of cruising cats at this show, this year hardly any. So perhaps it's just as well that the winner was a boat we know well, the Outremer 52. In my opinion, having had 3 days aboard this boat for a long test last year, this was a well-deserved win. This is a boat that's not just a great blue water cruiser with an impressive performance to match, but it's a great boat to sail. You can check out our test in the links above and below. Another boat that we identified last year at this show as being one to watch was Saffier's SE24 Lite. Turns out we were right, as this impressive Dutch-built day sailor won the Best Special Yacht category. This is the 5th time that this company has won a European Yacht of the Year award. But the fact is that this modern yet elegant day sailor is a great example of a product that is just what it says on the tin. Quick, fun, easy to sail and beautifully built. It's as simple as that. One thing that caught my eye this year though was their latest announcement. Their brand new SL46 is right at the other end of the scale. Designed along similar lines to their day boats, the central feature is a spacious cockpit that occupies a good chunk of the midship space. On the face of it, the 46-footer is a bold call, and yet Saffier have sold 5 of these boats already. Dennis, first of all, congratulations on winning. I mean, you must be delighted.
I'm stoked. I mean, we didn't expect this one. It's the 5th time we've won the award. The first one was in 2009, so that's quite a while ago. But recently we've won in the 21, 22, and now year 2024. So three in a row, more or less, basically, combining 5 wins. It's amazing for a relative small yacht.
It is, yeah. And what's the secret of success?
Dedication, hard work, and passion.
Oh, they all say that.
Yeah, they all say that. Well, man, we do have a lot of knowledge, whether it's building but also sailing. I'm born in Australia. My father had a big dream to sail around the world, and when I was 7, he was building a big yacht. Sold everything in Australia. We sailed around the world for 8 years. So there's a lot of salt water in our veins, so to speak, and I think that's what you feel back in our boats. You know, it's instinctively everything is in the right place, and we've really gone deep into the super easy operating the boat alone, combining that with a large cockpit for the family and speed. That's basically what the 3 ingredients what the boats do to take. Yeah.
Now you announced at this show this SL46.
Yeah.
I mean, that is quite a step.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, tell us about that.
You know, we have a large customer base, and there was really a demand from the customer to have within the range a bigger boat. And I think if you're going to a 46-footer, you can't building a true day sailor in a 46 feet. I'm not so sure there's a big market for it. But what we did do, we kept the same DNA. So it's again a super easy boat to operate all by yourself. Whether it's in the harbor, by the way, or sailing. Sailing-wise, there might be more boats today which are pretty easy to operate. In the harbor, maybe not so. I think that's where we add some things. And we combine that still with a large cockpit. I mean, if you see the Saffier SL Met, it's a large cockpit with a large aft deck where you can create a lounge system, so to speak, if you're an anchor in the harbor. And inside, you know, it's walking height or standing height, and with the 3 cabins, it's quite a conventional layout, because we've been looking at more modern layouts where it's more open. But I think, you know, on the end, you want some privacy when you go sleeping. Super well finished, and with a little bit more design in it than what I see in other yachts where they put a lot of wood in it. We try to combine it with a bit more material.
And we see the model here now, which is a gorgeous model in itself. I think
Thank
I'd
you.
quite like to have the model to start with.
Yeah.
First boat, when is that going to hit the water?
It's going to hit the water in July. We sold 5 so far. We're busy with selling hull number 6. Yeah, we're pretty happy about it. We think it's a next step for our customer. It's a good step for us. You know, and the size, by the way, before Saffier, the family Hennevanger, we've been building boats for generations. We've been building 16, 70 footers as a one-up before, so we do have a little knowledge about size. So that's not, and in my mind, boat building has become more easy even than in the older days. So we're good there.
So knowledge in building size and also knowledge in winning awards.
So far, yes. Let's hopefully we can keep that momentum.
Yeah, well done. It's
Thank you very much,
It's a lovely
Matthew.
boat.
Thank you very much.
Clearly, Dusseldorf is not just about winning awards, and there are plenty of other boats that caught my eye. The Flaar 24 is an all-carbon Hungarian-built sports boat. She weighs just 750 kilos and has an electrically operated centreboard style lifting keel. Given her high quality spec and the fact that she's said to be a great little boat to sail, her price tag's pretty impressive as well. Last year, this boat, the Sunbeam 32.1, caught my eye. This year, the smaller sister has just joined the range, the Sunbeam 29.1. She's a stunning little weekender designed primarily for European lakes. She's got a lifting keel and she's a push-button boat with electric winches and electric windlass to make life pretty effortless. And look at that interior. Come on, that is just gorgeous. I'll tell you what, it's my boat of the show too. Talking of lake sailing, the Largo 26 is not a new boat in Europe, but it is another that embodies fun performance sailing, whether you're cruising or racing. 48 of these boats have been produced, and now her builders decided to make another version for short-handed sailing, the Speedster 26. They describe it as solo sailing with friends, which I think is a perfect description of what many people are looking for. A boat that you can handle alone while enjoying the company of your friends who don't necessarily sail. Perfect. Again, on the modest size front, Jeanneau's new Sun Odyssey 350 is a cleverly designed boat. She replaces the Sun Odyssey 349, of which around 1,500 were built, so she's got big boots to fill. But with her spacious cockpit and twin-wheel steering and walk-around side decks, she punches well above her weight for a boat of this size. From her fold-down transom to the simple yet effective barber haulers for the jib sheets, the attention to detail is impressive. Below deck, she also feels bigger than her length suggests. But this year, Dusseldorf was also about announcements, and there were plenty of them. Outremer Swan ran through an incredibly ambitious season with 5 new models in production. Among them, the new ClubSwan 28 will be one to watch out for, the smallest race boat the company has ever produced. The ClubSwan 43 is another that's going to draw a lot of attention this season. X-Yachts also have their eye on the racing market as they announce their new racer, the XR. The company has put a huge amount of effort into its 40-foot design and set themselves a target of getting onto the podium at the ORC World Championships next year. Interestingly, they say that they're deliberately not looking to make a one-design class. In fact, quite the opposite, as they want to ensure that the boat can be optimised and refined to adapt to other rules and future changes. Craig, good to see you again, back at Dusseldorf. I mean, a lot of people will know X-Yachts for their racing heritage back in the day with the X99, the IMX40, a whole load of race boats that were very, very successful. And it looks like, from what you're saying in an announcement you made here at the show, that actually part of you is heading back that way. Tell us a bit about that strategy and what you're doing.
Yeah, we have been discussing for years to go back to our roots. It's actually 2007 since we made a race boat, the X41, and we decided 6 months ago to build a race boat again with a high ambition of actually be able to, if we succeed, win the Worlds in 2025. So it's a high ambition. We put a lot of load on our shoulders, but we also set the team around us. As told you yesterday, we have a strong team around us on design, on sail plan, on optimization. And if I go back to the idea of this, then it's not a branding project. This is basically a business case for us going into a race boat and then be able to sell a lot of sporty cruisers of that boat. And I generally believe that it will put some glow on our total fleet, that we go back to where we came from, because that's actually incorporated in all our boats today. Even it's a cruiser, there's a lot of thinking behind the weight distribution and all these things. So that's the short answer.
We heard a lot yesterday from Thomas about the detail that had gone into the design and the number of iterations that you're going through with modern design tools and the rest of it. But what came across is it's a pretty ambitious call, isn't it? I mean, that's an expensive exercise to do.
It is, and we have really been doing a lot of planning before entering into this, because we know competition is fierce. You know what is out there, so if we do something and it don't go all the way, then we will not succeed, because we need a boat that is fast and that can beat its ORC target, you can say. So it's a lot of work.
The other thing I found interesting about the announcement is there was no hint, in fact quite the opposite. You said this is not a One Design boat, and we're so used to hearing boats say, oh, this is the new One Design. Tell us a bit about that decision.
Yeah, and that's basically because we want to be able to optimize this boat. As you know, the ORC rule is constantly changing. We saw big changes this year. It's constantly changing, and we need to have an agile boat that can win on a longer period, and that would be locked in a One Design. So that's why we go in that direction, and that's a very deliberate choice.
Tell us a bit about the plan and the program for that boat now. It's called the XR, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As I showed yesterday, we have a timeline that is very strict, so meaning that next year, exact time, you will see the first boat here, and we will have 2 boats ready. One that will be training in Denmark with the pro team that we are currently setting up. And that means that we would have a boat that goes into production August 2024. And we need to lock the design in 2 months from now. So we are very, very busy right now to get the whole timeline rolled out.
And tell us a little bit about the mainstream, the core of your business, the latest boat, the XC47.
Yeah.
How's that all going?
The XC47, which we have behind us here, we were so fortunate to sell hull number 9 last week. So we sold to eight different European countries, and the boat got in the water in mid-September, so we are beyond our expectations. And as you know, it's quite often the new boats that drive the sales, and that's what we see with this new baby.
In the cruising world, French builders Wauquiez unveiled what has until now been a secret project, their all-new 55-footer. It's a radically styled modern pilot house style cruiser. Her looks alone speak volumes for the new direction, and she's due to be launched this summer. Back in the real world, with boats that were on show, there were 2 others that stood out for me. The first is the dufour-44. They might not be the biggest production builders in Europe, but they're one of the longest serving, and were instrumental in kicking off production boat building 60 years ago. Today, their designs are more striking than ever, especially down below. I have to admit, I'm not totally sure about the practicality of a hexagonal saloon table, but anyone who saw it won't forget it. The second was the largest sailboat at the show, the Hallberg Rassy 69. She's their new flagship and is very impressive. She's also said to be the most complex boat they've ever built, and at €5 million, most expensive too. Magnus, very good to see you. This is almost like an annual meet for us, isn't it, the Dusseldorf Boat Show? Yes. But this time you've arrived with really quite a special boat. Tell us about the 69.
Yes. It's the largest Hallberg Rassy ever built, and we also call it the greatest Hallberg Rassy ever built, because it's a boat with the same basic concept as Hallberg Rassy always had. At the same time, it's larger, so it makes miles. It's a real mile eater. You come further each day sailing. It's smoother handling, it's smoother motion in the waves. So it's a really comfortable boat. It's a typical Hallberg Rassy still, and at the same time, it's easy to manage the boat with minimum crew. We have even more help to do so. For example, we have load cells for halyard. You have plus and minus for jib halyard, for main halyard. You can see the load at the screen at the helm station. You have outhaul, bang, backstay. You can see the tension for all this. So it's easier to handle, easier to do it in the right way. You have an interior that is absolutely outstanding. It's so comfortable and still cozy at the same time. You have a handhold within reach all the time. It's not too big. It's just the right size, really. It's amazing how quickly you adapt and think that this is the right size for a small crew.
But what led you to 69? Your previous biggest boat was 64,
yes,
wasn't it? So
and the limit has been what we can do within the Hallberg Rassy concept. And a very important point within the Hallberg Rassy concept is the push-button sailing with a powered in-mast furling. We believe in in-mast furling, not in-boom furling. And that has only been possible up to 53 foot in the early 90s. Then it was possible with a 62-footer, then we built a 62-footer. And when I had plans for a slightly larger boat than 62, there was no suitable mast for it. So I called the mast maker, Seldin Mast, and asked, could you please make a mast, a min-mast furling mast that is slightly larger? And the answer was, we have been waiting for this call. We have prepared everything. We have the drawings. If you say you build a boat, we build a mast. We can start today. And then we built a 64. But that was the largest possible at that time. Now there is in-mast furling that is powered, that is suitable for this size of boat, 69 foot. And it's not really the length in foot that decides, it's the righting moment. Because a Hallberg Rassy must be a stiff boat with high righting moment that copes with a lot of wind. And then this is the maximum. We can make a larger boat, a 75-footer, that is tender, but then it's not a typical Hallberg Rassy. So that's also a really important part of the concept.
It sounds like a very technically advanced boat. Has that been a big challenge for you? I don't mean that in a patronising way, but the technology can ramp up really quickly and get really quite complex.
It's complex to build a boat, but it's easy to use it. That's the point. It should be ease of use, effortless sailing. That's the key to handle the size of boats with minimum crew.
And when you say minimum crew, I mean, a lot of people talk about nowadays it's all about sailing with two people. Is that?
Yes.
That's what
it's
you're aiming
even
at
possible to sail it alone if you need to. There is a lot of room for friends and guests, but all those friends and guests don't necessarily need to know a lot about sailing. That's the key.
Interesting. And have you managed to sail it yet? When was the boat launched?
Early December. So we have sailed it for several weeks in December.
That's quite a challenge in itself, isn't it? In Sweden?
Yes, it's quite cool.
And this boat will go where? Where's this boat heading to?
I always make the first boat for myself, so I can sail it properly and test it properly. I mean, what car maker would start production of a new model and sending it out to end consumer directly without testing? It wouldn't happen. But in this yachting business, it happens all the time. But I don't want to work so. I want to test the boat properly before it's delivered to an end consumer. And we will sail it first in Scandinavia in the spring, and then we will sail it to the Mediterranean and show it at the Cannes Yachting Festival in September this year.
Well, having done many boat tests with you over the years, I know that when you say you're doing that, you actually mean it.
Yes. We have delivered 9,700 yachts, all on time.
Wow.
Never had a delay, not even during the pandemics.
Really? 9,700, that's pretty. And the company is how old?
80 years. Was founded in 1943 by Harry Hallberg.
Right. Fantastic. Well, she's a gorgeous boat. We're going to take a little closer look.
Yes.
But good to see you again, Magnus, and good luck for the season.
Thank you.
Cheers.